Bitcoin has filled the 7K CME gap. Where does that mean we're headed to next? Stay tuned for the video and you can be warned where we're going to with BTC. Okay, sorry for the horrible intro, y'all, but thanks for tuning in. This is CryptoTakeOver coming back with another Bitcoin video analysis for y'all that we put out daily. So if y'all haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like, comment down below, tell me that you're back, watching the videos again. So we're going to get started here. We just recently had the CME gap get filled at 7K. This was one retest that we were kind of anticipating, talked about in the previous video too as well, that we could probably see a little bit of a sell-off, and that would indicate maybe that CME gap getting filled. It didn't fill until actually a little while ago. We did dip down to about 7,058. I think the CME gap was like right at 7K, pretty much like 7,100 or something. Well, we ended up getting the whole gap to get filled earlier this evening, before I guess the morning time. So we dipped all the way back down to about 6.9K, literally on the dot, pretty much like 6.910. So now we just had a little bit of a bounce. So that what we were talking about in yesterday's video too as well was we recently broke nice trendline resistance. And what I would like, or what usually happens, not that I like to see Bitcoin dip really hard or anything like that, but I mean, it's also nice to accumulate if that's your thing too as well. But usually when we break trendline resistance, we like to come back down and retest that trend line as support. So what we got down here was that trendline support retest, and it does look like we have bounced from there. So that's a good indication that now this trend line will be acting as support for us. Now we just need to make sure that we stay above it. If we do stay above it, we need to at least put in like another 5% bounce from there. And so we're going to kind of measure that out, see where we would probably need to be at for us to continue a bullish sentiment into the market, or whether or not we could, dive a little bit further down into the abyss. Let's see what's going on. So our 15-minute time frame is telling us that our bears are definitely in control right now, with us currently trending below our VWAP. We did get a bounce down here at 6,900, so that's a nice little indication there. Money flow was kind of moving into the red there as well. Money flow here on our 30-minute also kind of moving into the red after this recent sell-off that we just had earlier this morning. And so we are putting in some big green dots down there too as well, which is a nice indication of a temporary bottom for us, at least for some consolidation out to the side as the time progresses from here on out. So you can see here on our 45-minute also putting in another big green dot too as well. It's a nice indication that maybe this was a potential bottom for us for right now at least. And I think, as we start to zoom out into some of these higher time frames, you can see where exactly this trend line was acting as resistance for us, and how we managed to break through that. Now we broke through it with about a 7% move to the upside to that 7.2K area. Now what we would probably want to see here is from this bounce, we'd probably want to see another 5% move to the top side here. Another 5% move would probably get us back to around that 7,400 area. And it would also break through our curved trend line resistance that we have up here as well too. So we would kind of want to see another bounce back to the upside, maybe break through this curved resistance that we have up here. We did retest the trend line as support. We also retested the curved curved support area too as well, and got a bounce from there. So I drew these kind of rounded structure support resistance lines out yesterday or the day before that, and they do seem to be holding up pretty well for us right now. So we'll just have to wait to see whether or not we're going to end up breaking through support or resistance on one of these support lines or resistance points too. You can see here on our this is our 90-minute time frame. Let's go into our 1 hour. 1 hour time frame is starting to move off into the red. So it could end up getting a little bit bearish for us as of right now. I would say that we just need to hang on to this support line down here, which is still at about 6,900. I would say that if we break below 6,900, that's going to be another bearish add-on to suggest that we might end up retracing to some lower 6K numbers for sure. But I think as we kind of stay above this, that's a nice indication that we did break through this resistance line, and BTC was not playing around during this break. So although the volume wasn't as strong as we wanted it to be during this break, it was kind of a struggle to break through here. We did still end up breaking it. Now it's up to BTC to gather its momentum to continue this further to the upside or not. So we're just going to have to kind of wait and see what's going to happen here. Now, the trading group and I are anticipating a move maybe a little bit further out into the future, but we are currently just kind of holding out right now just to see where this is going to play out for us as well. If y'all do want to become part of the trading group, y'all can feel free to sign up. There's only a few spots left for this April special. Right now I'm giving a 35% off for the April special as well. If y'all do want to get signed up for it, go for it. Y'all get access to all my private videos inside of the Patreon page. You get access to the private Discord channel, which is where you can chat it up and learn a little bit more about my ins and outs of the markets, as well as get some good friendly advice, some friends in there too as well to just trade with and have like a nice little close-knit community with you as well, to be in there asking questions, answering each other's questions. So we built a nice little community in there, and it's enjoyable to say the least. Also, you're going to get quite a few other things that I have inside of the Patreon page, especially with those private videos. I've released, I think, over at least 20 private videos on the Patreon page as well. How I set up my TA charts, my favorite 2 altcoins that I'm in heavy accumulation of as of right now, multiple of other things too. So I encourage y'all to check it out. The price that I have for our trading group is relatively a cheaper price than some of these trading groups. I mean, some of these trading groups are making you join for 0.1 BTC, which is in my honest opinion, it's just pretty ridiculous. About $1,000 a month for a trading group is just insane. So, honestly, I feel like what you're getting for that price right now is a bang for your buck. So. Right now we can see on our 1 hour too, we'll get back into the charts. Our 1 hour is kind of giving us a little bit of a death cross here. So honestly, that 7K or that 7,100 area could be a little bit of resistance for us going forward from here on out. Now we would probably want to find a little bit of resistance at that 7,100 area, and then maybe see if we can break through it or not, depending on BTC's volume and momentum to the upside here. Let's go into our 2 hour. Our 2 hour, our money flow is still kind of moving out to the side. It does look like we are, at least on our 1 hour, we were getting a little bit of a bearish money flow. So now it kind of looks like our money flow here on our 2 hours kind of just moving out to the side right now, consolidating, kind of unsure of where we want to go with it as of right now. I was expecting this retrace to equalize this sell signal back here too. I would say that sell signal is probably equalized now. It does look like we are getting support on our 100 EMA, so we'll probably see some squeeze between our 13 and our 100 EMAs as well, going on into the near future, and then maybe decide a decision point for BTC when that break happens there. As we move into our 4 hour here, 4 hour, it did look like it wanted to turn bullish. Our money flow did actually clip into the green just a tad bit. A little bit, somewhat of a head and shoulders playing out here that you might call for, could send us a little bit further back down. So that's a nice little indication that, these head and shoulders on Cipher B do like to play out sometimes. And that being that this is on the 4 hour, we could see a little bit more of a dive down further. So, our next body candle could open up, it could open back up around 7,100, if anything, and then send us back down to 6,900, even lower, maybe, 6,800 if at all possible, to give the bears a little bit more of a run down further. Now you can see that we are still kind of getting held as support up here on our 100 EMA on our 4-hour too as well, which is at about 6,900. But we do have that blood diamond there. It's a little scary, to be honest. So it usually gives us quite a bit of retracement there. I would say, but we are seeing a lot of support at about 6,800. So that is definitely an indication that, the bulls are, the bears are going to have to try really hard to push us down a little bit further too as well. Let's take a look at our 6-hour here. Our 6-hour has signaled a sell signal now. So that could be some good indication that, we start to maybe round off a little bit more here too. So we just need to be extra cautious, be extra prepared. We have sell signals that sometimes don't fire off just as appropriately as some others do, or as, big of an indication as some others are. But as you can see here, we're already moving into our red Heikinashis, and we do have a sell signal here as well too. So that's a nice indication that we could see some potential downside here. We just need to take extra precaution and be aware of what's going to happen in these markets. So that is definitely an indication that we could end up breaking past that 6,800 level too, and maybe even hitting that 65 or lower possibly. I would say that, even one of our rounded off channels here is at about 6,400, and I would say 6,400 is going to be a nice resistance point for us. So maybe heading back down to 6,500 is not too far out in the ordinary as of right now, just because we have put off some rounded tops here at that 75 to 7,200. And still kind of not being able to make in some higher highs. But if we do end up breaking back down into this underneath this trend line, that would be good indication that 6,500 could definitely be in the books for us. So we'll just have to keep an eye on that and see what's going to happen here in the near term future, and then go from there. If y'all do just want to sign up for the newsletter, y'all are welcome to. I send out newsletters maybe like once a month or so. I know it says weekly newsletter. It should be a monthly newsletter just because I get pretty busy. Don't have to find the time to send it out. But, I like to curate the content from what I give my Patreon members, those private videos I'll send out in the newsletters periodically. So it is free to sign up for. If y'all want to, go ahead and get signed up for it. I'll do giveaways every once in a while. I'm trying to hit 5K subs, and I'll do my next giveaway then. So go ahead and feel free to share this video. And obviously liking it and commenting on it helps the algorithm to bump it up there so we can get a few more subscribers on the channel. So, thanks for all the support that y'all have been offering. And then if y'all want to still stay in touch with me, y'all can through the newsletter. Also, the Discord server is free to join if y'all want to. Like I said, there's a space on the Discord server. I've made guidelines, community guidelines and rules on there that you have to accept before you can actually join the server. So y'all need to make sure that y'all click the green checkbox when y'all click on join server. And when you click on that, it will allow you to access the server. It's just parameters that I want everyone to abide by, basically. And if you don't, then I have to boot you out. I'm sorry. So, and that goes with my Patreon members too, as well. Like, guys, if y'all can't get along in there, and if y'all can't treat people with respect and have dignity, then I'm sorry. I gotta let y'all go. And it is what it is. So. Like I said, we want to keep it a clean environment for the most part. We want to make sure everyone stays pretty positive in there as well. I'm not going to put up with anything else besides positivity and just making sure that everyone can have a good day, basically. And so with the Telegram group, we also have the Telegram group if y'all do want to. It's basically just a channel of announcements. So if y'all want to check that out, y'all can stay up to date with me on there as well. Let's dive back into the charts real quick, and we're going to take a look at our 6-hour here. So our 6 hours also, this was our 6-hour. We may be anticipating a little bit some lower numbers there. Heikinashis are starting to turn red here on our 8-hour as well, indicating that we need to just be aware that this money flow could end up rounding off to the bottom side too, maybe end up sending us a little bit lower into that, possibly, I would, and now that I'm looking at these higher time frames, y'all, it's looking like, we could break back down below this support level for ourselves too. I know there's a lot of crypto YouTubers, especially the Moon Boys, that are talking about the bump and run reversal pattern, because we broke this trend line support. But if we end up coming back down underneath that 6,800 area, I would say that 6,500 is definitely in the books for us too as well, and it would be a nice buying opportunity for yourself as well too. So I encourage everyone to be DCing into these markets right now. I think that these are fire sale prices, and they don't come around too often. So definitely would be a nice little scoop up down there, if anything, to see where exactly we're going to find some support to maybe send us back to the upside. But I'm definitely thinking about waiting this out right now to see whether or not we're going to break down below 6,800 and then maybe enter a trade from there. So as I start to look at these higher time frames, it does look like we do want to kind of round off just a tad bit, but that is yet to be determined, because as we even move into some of our higher time frames, we're still going to have to wait and see exactly what's going to happen. Our 12-hour was one that I was actually waiting and anticipating to maybe get a squeeze here and possibly even break to the upside because of our money flow. But it does look like we are starting to trend back down below our key EMAs here. And with that being said, we could end up seeing another, another dive back down into these lower numbers too. So it's not to be questioned out just yet. Maybe 7.5K was our topping out pattern too as well. I would think that if anything, if we break the 6,800 level, we'll probably find support down here at the 6,400 area, where I do have our rounded channel off at, and then we can go from there. Let's take a look at our 21-hour. Does have the buy signal there as well. That honestly, it's still up in the air right now. We're gonna have to wait to see how the next couple of days play out. I would definitely consider waiting right now just to see. We've been in a tight consolidation area from 6,800 to 7,300 area, and right now you can see we're getting another squeeze here too. We are putting in somewhat of a red dot, so we could see some wicks up and high, some Darth Maul wicks happening here, and it's probably just safer to kind of just wait to see where we think this might break, where we think it might break at, right? Even on our daily, we were kind of anticipating another move back up to that 7,500 area. It looks like we are currently still just getting rejected, putting in the lower highs, as y'all can see, but our money flow is still kind of moving to the top side here. Hasn't quite turned green just yet. It does look like we are getting some resistance at our 0 pivot point with our money flow on our 1 day. Maybe putting in a topping out pattern as well too. Maybe a red dot will be appearing there in the next couple of days as well. So it's interesting, because I think we were starting to get a little bullish here, and a lot of the Moon Boys were coming out saying that this could be our next move to 10K or whatever. And I wasn't doubting it, but at the same time, I follow a lot of the Elliott waivers too, and they're kind of the underdogs when it comes to the crypto community as well. And they've been anticipating another move back to the downside. And also I've been keeping an eye on some other indicators as well, that I've been sharing with the group and the Patreon members. And we're all on the same page about this, but I think that if anything, it would be healthy for us to at least come back down and retest, some of these lower numbers, probably at the, 5K area, maybe not that low, but maybe like the 6.4K area, like I've been saying. So, that would give us another retracement if we dip down below to 6.4 area. That would give us, another 10% retracement, if anything. So definitely something to consider there, just because with a lot of these bottoming out patterns, you want to see consolidation. You want to see some zigzag movements across the board. This whole V-shaped recovery that I think has been persuaded into the media is just very unlikely to be honest. I feel that even on the stock markets right now, we're going to have another big kind of sell-off pretty soon. I don't know if it's going to be another event that happens, but the charts are just kind of telling us that, for us to have a bottoming out pattern, we can't just have a quick V-shaped recovery. That doesn't play out very well in markets for the most part. We like to see some retracement back down, some consolidation to the side, and then maybe another big move to the upside. So that's just a healthy market, I think, bottoming out pattern, if anything, for the most part. And that's what we have gotten back, like when we were at 7.5K bottoming out there, and then when we were at 3.5K bottoming out there after that, those two capitulation areas as well, they didn't V-shape recover. It was more of a consolidation out to the side with some retracements, some 10% retracements, if anything. And so that's kind of like what would be a healthier market bottom than a V-shaped recovery, I would believe. So, take everything with a grain of salt. But like I'm anticipating is, something of that nature to happen within the next month or so, probably us going into later on into May, and then June, July, maybe some consolidation out in May, and then we decide to make our move from there. So we're really going to have to kind of keep an eye on these markets to see what's going to be the best opportunity for us to position ourselves, right? And we're just taking a look at our Bitstamp chart as well. We can take a look at our 2-day here, see what's going on. No sell signal on our 2-day. I would imagine if we do get a little bit of a retracement, we might see a sell signal. But at the same time, if we just continue out to the sideways movement here, this was our last capitulation area, about that 7.5K area. And we just had a buy signal all the way through our 2-day. And then we finally moved to the upside here. So, this could be our only buy signal that ever triggers during this consolidation in our capitulation area too as well. And then we could just continue back to the upside. So it's definitely something to consider, to be aware of as we move forward, to not be too bearish and also not be too bullish right now either. So y'all, if y'all are interested on how I set up my TradingView account and everything too, just to let y'all know, I use the premium account. It just allows you to have a lot more features on the chart if y'all are using the premium account. I do show you how to get this for 60% off inside of the private or inside of the Patreon page as well, with the private video. So y'all can check that out as well. But if you are using Market Cipher, I would at least recommend you use the Pro Plus plan. It just allows you to have a few more indicators on the screen. So that way you can have your buy and sell signals, your Aldo EMAs, which I tell y'all how to set those up inside of the Patreon channel as well, inside of the Patreon group. They are both custom indicators, and one of them even you have to have your own custom code, which I give y'all inside of the Patreon page as well. So if y'all are interested in that, y'all can feel free to sign up. So right now I am working on a custom bot, and also you'll get access to the custom to the bot signals inside of the private channel on Discord as well when you become a Patreon member. But I've been using the 3 commas bots to trade on the leverage exchanges that we use. It's been working out very well for us. You just have to make sure that your parameters are set very well. So I'm going to give my Patreon members a video on how to set up a 3 commas bot. If and if y'all are interested in learning a little bit more on that, then y'all can be sure to check out that private video when it comes out. But right now I have the alerts set up inside of the Discord channel, inside of the private Discord channel, on our buy/long signals, and then our sell/short signals as well whenever those go off. So very cool feature that I have programmed into the Discord, and I think that the group is enjoying that pretty well too. If y'all do want to just buy and hodl, which is highly recommended, because right now we are at great dollar cost averaging times inside of the market, and if that's your all-around goal, to just DCA into the market, then right now you're probably looking at a really good opportunity. But if you are, I encourage you to keep your crypto off of the exchanges, and the best way you can do that is to hold it in cold storage. And right now, Ledger is offering a free Ledger Nano S whenever you buy a Ledger Nano X. So y'all can check the links down in the description box below. You also help support the channel whenever you click the links in the description box below. But make sure you have a cold storage wallet. This should be one of your first purchases if you are brand new into the crypto space as well too. So just a heads up on that. We use Bybit for the most part to leverage trade, and y'all can find the links in the description box to get signed up for that. But what I encourage y'all, if y'all are brand new to trading in general, or if y'all have never used Bybit before in their platform, to get familiar with it at least, you want to get signed up, then ask chat support how to access the testnet. And then once you access the testnet, you can paper trade BTC, which is basically trading fake BTC, to make sure that you understand the platform. You know what all the buttons do on there basically, and go through some of the help tutorials on there. And then also just make sure that you're a profitable trader and that your algorithm is profitable as well in whatever style you like to use. And I even encourage you, if you are part of the Patreon group too, and you're going by my ins and outs of the markets, to actually use the testnet first. And just back test it a little bit first before you actually put your BTC onto the exchange. And then you can also use Prime XBT. It's another leverage trading platform, which allows you to trade S&P 500, gold and silver, some fiat currencies as well, all using Bitcoin. So be sure to check that out if y'all are interested. And then if you are looking for a freaking awesome browser to use, you can use the Brave browser. It basically allows you to get paid out in BAT token, basic attention token. If y'all are unfamiliar, y'all should do a little bit more research on it. But BAT token basically is deposited into your wallet on the browser every time you click on an ad. So at the beginning of each month, accumulation of compensation basically from me clicking on an ad in my bottom right hand corner is then deposited into my wallet on the browser, and it's basically a nice little way to earn some passive income. So check out that link down in the description box if y'all are interested in using the Brave browser. It's made by the same people that make Mozilla Firefox, and it's super convenient, super fun way to browse the web ad free, and only get those Brave ads down in the bottom right hand corner. Or you can just turn off ads in general as well and receive no ads. So let's take a look at the charts again. Still finding support here above our 13 EMA at about 6,900. So this is going to be really strong support for us going forward. You know, as much as those smaller time frames look bearish, you know, we've been holding support here, and we've been kind of fighting with this EMA currently to just, you know, relatively try and stay above here. And even on our daily, you know, we're getting a nice little squeeze here between that 75 and that 6,900 area. So we're going to be, I would say we're going to struggle, even if the bears are going to struggle here. If anything, the bears are going to struggle. But if we do get the break to the downside, we could probably expect you know, quite a big break. I would say close to the low 6K areas, if anything. But as we start to get this squeeze, I would imagine that if we do break to the upside, you know, our potential gain is probably a lot higher, maybe into those maybe into the 8K area, if anything. That would be a nice anticipation of a price target up there, possibly, for sure, as well. So we'll just have to wait to see what's going to happen there. It does look like we are holding support here on our higher time frame, so that is definitely another bullish sign for us as well. Our 3-day looking like it's ready to start to move back above the current EMA, acting as resistance, which is at about 7K. So I think, when does the next one close? On the 21st of April. So we'll actually, the next candle will open tomorrow, and we can see whether or not we're going to actually make support above 7K, which would be very, very nice for us, and definitely an anticipation to start to move to the upside. But I would expect a big struggle and a big fight probably within the next couple of days going on into this week to see what's going to happen here, because it's really undetermined. it could go either direction. But I think that as we started to move into our higher time frames, now we can see the predicament of our EMAs and how much of support they are acting for us, and resistance as well, depending on what time frame you're looking at. But these obviously mean they take precedent over some of the lower time frames and some of those supports down there as well too. So let's take a look at our 4-day here. Our 4-day still acting as resistance on our key EMA here, sitting at about 7,100. So we're gonna, definitely it's gonna be a struggle for us, but honestly, this could go either direction. Right now, it does look like we're kind of aiming towards finding support above 7K, maybe even holding that for the next couple of days. But you need to be aware of those those Darth Maul wicks that like to occur as well, because we know those can be pretty deadly. I mean, they're literally like a lightsaber ready to, cut your head off pretty much if you're not using proper risk management. So you just need to make sure that if anything, you're keeping it pretty low leveraged and, not betting the farm, if anything, maybe just like one hedge of grass and, and just go with that from here on out. We'll take a look at our 5-day here too, see what's happening here. And our 5-day had that, very big kind of sell off with our money flow starting to move down to the downside, but our blue wave is still trending to the upside here too, not feeling any type of rejection just now. Our VWAP's kind of moving out to the side at a clipped up angle. It's looking to try and get above that 7,300 area. If anything, we've retested it quite a few times. So now it's just up to, probably by the 23rd or the 25th, that's going on into the end of the week on Saturday, to see whether or not we have the potential to break up above it. We've been retesting it quite a bit, and, just that's the same way that, our EMAs are, our trend lines are retested. I would say that the more it retests these EMAs, the weaker it gets, and the easier it is for us to break up and through that too as well. So we could take that into consideration, maybe see some sideways movement if we do break back up above 7,300 in between that 73 and 7,600 area, and then maybe decide where the squeeze will happen between then. So definitely going to be a struggle from here on out. The bulls the bulls and bears will definitely be dueling it out here in the short-term future. So it's going to be an exciting rest of the week, if anything, and we'll just have to kind of go with the flow on things too. Guys, if y'all do want to start mining Bitcoin straight from your web browser, I would definitely recommend the CryptoTab browser. It's not a browser that I use to browse the web necessarily, but I do use it to earn passive income on the side. I have it running on 2 different laptops right now, 2 laptops that I don't really use anymore necessarily, but also you can just have the CryptoTab browser running in the background on these computers, and it will start mining Bitcoin for you. So as you can see here, I've been mining Bitcoin for a little while now. The deposits go pretty instantly. It takes about a day for it to deposit into your wallet. It's not going to get you that full 1 BTC in a month or anything like that. That's just ridiculous. And then with the halving coming up, it's going to take a lot more mining power. But if you're just wanting to, help support the network and then also maybe make a little bit of, passive income on the side, you can just, throw it on the exchange and play with it later if you want. And then check out CryptoTab browser. You can also download the app on your phone and then start even mining Bitcoin straight from your phone or your tablet if y'all are interested in that. So super cool stuff. It's just easier than having to set up ASIC miners and ANT miners and all that hassle and jazz too. And then if y'all do want to follow me on Instagram and Twitter, y'all can feel free to follow me on there as well. And I post a lot of updates on there, more on Twitter. Not really that consistent with Instagram right now. Just with the crypto channel, there's not a lot of stuff on going on Instagram, but Twitter there is for sure. And then so our 5-day here, definitely kind of trying to push up back above that EMA there. As being that we just had this death cross here, these are going to be really hard resistance points for us, and it's honestly telling me that because these are going to be really strong resistance points for us, it's going to be really hard for us to break through. But as you can see, we are wanting to test it even more. So, the more we kind of test this, we could maybe try and get back above there. Even at, this could be just a sideways movement for us for, going on into April, to be honest, without much rejection. To go into lower areas, but honestly, we could just see some sideways movement here before we decide to start moving back up into those areas as well. To get us back above that 7.4 7.6k area, if anything. But our 6-day and our weekly are kind of giving us those indications that it's going to be a struggle for us, but at the same time, it's not impossible for us to maybe just move sideways for a little bit longer before we start to move back up. Our weekly even here is just starting to move sideways. Our 13 and our 100 haven't even crossed yet, but they could end up just gliding, one above the other, sideways out right now, and then not even have the death cross at all, to be honest. That might not even happen. But if it does happen, we just need to be aware that there's going to be a lot of strong resistance for us up ahead, and that we have to anticipate and play it as it will. So I do want to kind of see back here exactly where our crosses happen, and if they were just trending out sideways for a little bit. Even back here, we weren't trending below that 100 as we are now, because we had a very strong dip below our 100, and now we are just kind of trending out sideways. But our Heikinashis do look like they are ready to turn green just a tad bit, but that is yet to be determined. We'll have to kind of just wing it and go with the flow on there. So not in any strong positions right now. And like I said, we're not betting the farm or anything like that. We're just kind of taking what the market gives to us and then going from there. We're not hanging on to trades for very long either as of right now. So definitely something to be considerate of going on into the near-term future here. But we do have that weekly buy there too, but it doesn't necessarily mean a lot. I would say that we really need to try and get back above that 7.3k area, and then we might consider a bullish move there too. Let's go on into our 2-week, see what's happening here. As you can see, we're kind of getting that squeeze there on our 2-week as well. Heikinashi may be wanting to start to turn into the greenish area. Haven't put in a big green dot down here just yet, but that could yet to be determined what's going to happen there. Maybe end up getting a green dot, but our money flow is still in the red, giving us a nice push to the downside probably. So y'all, I want to thank y'all for coming back to the channel. We are going to go ahead and end it here. I'm putting in about a 40-minute video right now. That's pretty crazy. So if y'all stuck around for this long, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here with me. Comment down below. Let me say, join the Patreon page. I don't know. So comment something. Let me know that y'all stayed here till the end of the video, that y'all are enjoying the analysis that I'm giving y'all too as well. Oh, and as I forgot to mention, I am starting up a membership on YouTube as well. So if y'all want to join the membership, y'all get to pick one chart for me to review each month, that you would like for me to review at least each month, and y'all, that would be part of the membership. If y'all do sign up on YouTube, it's a little bit cheaper than the Patreon membership, but if y'all do still want to stay in contact with me and y'all want to look at a certain chart, then y'all can request it through the YouTube membership platform. So check that out if y'all are interested. And with that being said, y'all, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, share the video, get us up to 5K subs so we can do that next giveaway. And I'll see y'all in the next one. CTO signing out.